Let's talk with a man who's put himself in the driver's seat, though he'll need a top-end sat-nav to negotiate the twists and turns of Transport Avenue. Delighted to say Metro Mayor Dan Norris joins me now. Welcome.
Hello,
Dan.
Steve.
Good to talk to you.
Nice to be here.
You've been a busy man over the last week. One of the biggest issues for people in the region, in fact, if not the biggest, time and time again, is transport. And yet, in this region particularly, we seem never to have cracked it. Why not?
I think there's a lot of reasons for that, but the main reason I think is that as a region, we didn't get our act together many years ago, and other regions did around the country.
Let's go to our guests, Councillor Tim Kent and Claire Hazelgrove. Tim, just listening to what Dan is saying there, you've been campaigning for donkey's years, haven't you, for transport? And we heard on the little clip at the beginning there that Karen Brown was saying that you always seem to be the forgotten party.
Services are not profitable here, so they cut the buses. So what we have seen over the last 20 plus years is constant reductions in bus services.
The Labour government that I was part of made £1 billion in today's terms available for that. And because Bristol and South Gloucestershire councils argued, we didn't get it. And Nottingham now has the benefit of that.
That's almost criminal, isn't it? Well, that money is there, that pot is there to be taken, and squabbling
it's worse than criminal. It's negligent, isn't it? Because they're taking their eye off the ball. What a great prize, what a big difference it would have made. And it would have produced profits that we could have put into bus services and other things for our region too. It's a very exciting prospect to think that something that was cut in the Beeching times in 1964 could be reversed and very importantly could contribute a quite significant input to getting that very ambitious net zero target, because Portishead has grown hugely. It's an important population in the Bristol and West of England region, and we need people not to be driving to and from Bristol and other places in Portishead. We need them to be using trains when they make their journeys. So, and it also, the economic thing is, it will improve the opportunities for jobs both in Portishead and in places like Bristol as well as the rest of the region. It'll connect us up in a brilliant way. So fingers crossed, when you interview me again, I might have a better answer, but at the moment, I think it's going to happen, but I can't be absolutely certain. We'll see.
George Ferguson was the first elected incumbent in 2012 after years of political instability, many would say. He relinquished the job to Marvin Rees in 2016, and now, of course, we have that Metro Mayor position as well, overseeing the four authorities, or is that three of the four authorities? Does get confusing. Is it, I mean, you did the post, you were Mayor, you know what that's all about, yet here you are. Are you still against the whole idea of a Bristol Mayor now that the Metro Mayor position is in place?
Having two big egos of two elected mayors with that level of authority does ask for a bit of trouble. I can see it happening in Liverpool as well, and now the same question is being asked in Liverpool.
Well, there's a lot of interest coming in on this whole thing. Let's hear your views now. High time we did. Caroline is in Stoke Bishop. Caroline, you're through. What do you want to ask?
Well, Steve, thank you. I mean, George says that we would need to employ the best. These people are earning more than the Prime Minister. That cannot be right. And already we've got a mayor, a metro mayor, a chief executive directors of this, that and the other, earning heaps of money. It's not made us have the impact that Manchester's got, that Birmingham's got. So throwing money at this doesn't seem to be the answer.
No, I agree with you. Throwing money is not the answer. But I do think that we need to respect the fact that really high-powered people need to be paid. Otherwise, those high-powered people will go to places like Manchester and we'll lose out.
Okay, let's have a look at the question that we can put to you, because it's time for Talk Back Trivia. And here it is, just for fun at home. See who in the room is the first to answer it. Who was the first directly elected mayor of London? Was it A, Boris Johnson, B, Ken Livingstone, or C, Andy Burnham? Okay, so which of those was it? George, I think you might just have the answer to that. I think they've just had a little think at home and probably come up with the answer. The answer, of course, was
Ken Livingstone.
Ken Livingstone, certainly. Well, you know the man well, do you?
Yeah,
do you know Ken?
As soon as I got elected, I went to see Ken because I thought, how did you get some of that stuff through? And while I don't see eye to eye politically with Ken, I've got some admiration for the way he got stuff done.
Doreen, 63, asks, is governing by committee, we were talking about this a little bit earlier, the answer? Won't it push the local authorities even further apart, George Ferguson?
No, I think actually what it does is gives much more satisfaction and authority to councillors, to individual councillors.
And here it is, you can just see the figures coming up on the screen now. 14% say yes, they would like to see more skyscrapers, and a massive 86% say no. I know it's a yes-no question, but I love a tall building. I really do, as long as they're nicely designed. But 86 saying no. So tall buildings, a sign of success, some people might say, of course, as well, an answer to limited space at ground level, more homes and nice rooftop bars. What's not to like about tall buildings, George Ferguson?
Well, I don't dislike tall buildings. I love Manhattan, but we are not Manhattan. I think
We could be Manhattan.
Yeah, but I think what we need is to look at where tall buildings are appropriate. We need to look at those key views. We need to look at the character of the city. Actually, there's really good policy in Bristol planning, but it's not followed. I think that having a stronger Metro Mayor, a clarity about the role of the Metro Mayor, will enable the city region to perform much better, much more economically, and much more effectively than having a confused system of effectively 3 layers of mayors. Let's have just one elected mayor and the honorary mayors that serve our other districts.
George, thank you very much indeed. George, we'll be back next week on Talk Back West of England. Don't forget that huge consultation meeting on Wednesday about the redevelopment of St Mary Le Port. And we'll also be asking why your GP might say on your bike on your next visit. Yes, we'll hang on, we'll have a good discussion on that next week.